Hello, welcome to IDHub. In this video, I'll explain what an IDHub role is, why it's used, and demonstrate how to create a new role. To begin, let's log in with our organization name, and then we'll go ahead and log in as System Administrator Charles. Only system administrators and access managers have permissions to create new roles. Access managers are the only users who can approve the new role creation. Before I begin, let's assume the marketing department is growing and there is a need for a role called marketing employee. This role will be assigned to all new members joining the marketing team who will need entry-level access to a specific set of applications and entitlements. This role will not need any managerial or administrative permissions. While creating this role, we will add a set of conditions to the role which will be used to automatically assign the role to any newly onboarded user who works in the marketing department at the Ohio location. This will provide the user with birthright access to the specific set of resources needed for the job starting on day 1. From the admin app, which is located at the top of the dashboard, we'll go ahead and click on Manage Catalog, which will take us to the page where we can edit, add, and delete any resources found within IDHub. Before I begin with this new role creation, I want to define what roles are in IDHub. Role-based access control restricts network access to users based on their role in an organization. Roles help organizations provide the right access for right people to right systems and only the information which pertains to them. Roles are a form of digital identity associated with permissions to specific applications in the form of entitlements, which define what a user of that role can or cannot do with their access. Let's create the new role. To do that, we'll navigate to the Create Role button located on the top of the page. We'll start with our basic details, and the role I'm creating is called Marketing Employee. And the description will be, assign this role to a new user who works in the marketing department, does not need managerial or admin permissions, and works at the Ohio location. Our collections feature is primarily used with IDHub's self-hosted server version, allowing organizations to replicate data across multiple environments. We could add this new role to a previously created collection here if needed. The role owner is the IDHub user who will be responsible for all aspects of this role. As you type the name of the user who will be selected as the role owner, IDHub will populate active appropriate users who can be chosen from the drop-down selection box. In this case, we're going to add Charles as the role owner. For the IDM option, we'll select IDHub as this is currently the only supported option. Let's select the Requestable button so this role can be requested by any active user within the organization. For the approval workflow, we'll select Manager Role Approval, meaning the direct manager of the beneficiary, also known as the requester, will need to approve this new role when it's requested before the beneficiary is granted access to this role and the resources within it. The certifiable field will be used in a later version of IDHub, utilized to store information related to any application-specific compliance, which will be accessible through the new module called Compliance Hub, also coming in a future release. Let's move on to the Role Conditions page. IDHub has an amazing role condition feature which assists with determining various scenarios. By using conditions, we can automatically assign birthright access to newly onboarded users with the role condition query. This query allows us to combine multiple conditions using AND or to form the query. In this scenario, I'm going to add two conditions. Department equals marketing and location equals Ohio. This will ensure that any newly onboarded user who works in the marketing department at the Ohio location will have birthright access to a specific set of resources in the form of applications and entitlements automatically assigned to them, eliminating the request and approval processes. Let's move on to the Applications and Entitlements page. This is where we add resources to the role, which would be automatically provisioned into the user's account when the conditions are met. If a user requests this role, these resources would be pending provisioning until the role has been approved by the beneficiary's manager, which we selected as the approval workflow on the Roles Details page. Let's add Hunter and Hunter User Entitlement, Pipedrive and Pipedrive User Entitlement, Salesforce and Salesforce User Entitlement. If I was unsure about some of the details within this new role, I could save it as a draft and revisit when I'm ready to submit for approval. I can easily access the draft from my Requests page and edit the role and submit once ready. Let's submit this new role. Request successful. So now we know that our request has been submitted successfully. If we navigate to our request page, we can view the request to add this new role. Here we can see the role is waiting for approval and it's been assigned to an access manager. Let's log out of Charles' account and we'll log into Jerome's account. Jerome is an access manager and has permissions to approve this new role request. From his dashboard, we'll go ahead and navigate to the Tasks page by clicking on the Tasks button. This will bring up all the tasks that have been assigned to access managers. We have a claim and approval process, which is great because it allows appropriate approver groups to claim a task, which removes the task off the rolling task list, and the task only becomes visible to the person who claimed it. All the tasks that have not been claimed would stay on the page until someone from the approver group actually claims it. We'll go ahead and claim this new role creation task. And then we'll go ahead and approve it. When I click into the task, I can see all information related to this new request. I can quickly see any added conditions, which applications and entitlements have been attached, and all pertaining details. Let's go ahead and approve this request. Notice the pop-up in the upper right informing that this task action has been performed successfully. To validate that this role was successfully onboarded into IDHub, let's navigate to the User app and search for the role within the catalog. I'll click on the Roles tab and search for the new role. And here it is, Marketing Employee. If we open the role, we can see all related details which we added during role creation. With this new role, onboarding new marketing employees will become a breeze. Automatic provisioning of these resources for any user who meets the conditional rules we configured will save tons of time for administrators. If we look at the Members tab, we can view all the users who have access to this particular role. Keep in mind, these users did not request to have access to this role. They were automatically granted access when we created the role because of the conditions we configured during role creation. Let's look at Frank's profile details. We can see here that he does have access to the marketing employee role, as well as the 3 applications, Salesforce, Pipedrive, and Hunter, that we attached to the role during creation. If we open each one of these applications, we will see that the user entitlements within them are also within Frank's profile, and he does have access to those 3 entitlements. This validates that when creating a new role, any active users within IDHub whose account information matches the role conditions would automatically be granted access to the resources within that specific role. Those resources would then be automatically provisioned into the accounts as well. Also, remember that any user who requests and is granted access to this role will also have automatic provisioning to the resources within the role once the approval process has been completed. With IDHub's role condition feature, birthright access to a specific set of resources for users who match the conditional rules applied will provide your employees with the tools they need to succeed from day one. That concludes the video on how to add a new role in IDHub. I encourage you to check out some of our other IDHub tutorials like adding bulk roles. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day.